Hey guys, I'm back. So this is my loot from 24 hours of PVM. Now I did the 24 hours all in one sitting. Well, kind of. It was all in one session, you could say, because I did it on my 24-hour stream that I did on Sunday. And in this video, I will go over all the drops that I got and how it went throughout the 24 hours. Now to kick off the 24-hour stream, I started with some Kelphite King with a few of my friends, and we started out trio just because we couldn't find a fourth. And I usually like doing 4-mans. I know that's a lot of people for KK, but I usually don't like tanking, so I have someone else come and tank for me while I DPS with the Kara setup. It just works out better for me. But this time we were doing some 3-mans, and to start off, I mean, really early on, we did get a Drygor, and that was an offhand mace. That's the lowest priced one, but it was still trio, so that's nice. It's like a 5 mil split or something like that. I don't really know. I was pretty happy about that because I was like on a 90 dry streak at that point, so it was nice to get something. And we just continued on, and throughout the kills we added another teammate, which was Nengli. Mind you, the original teammates that I was with were me, Chris, and Mike. And we did get a Drygor like pretty much right after he joined, and that was a Drygor Rapier main hand. So that was really awesome. That's one of the better ones. We were still talking about the Drygor that we just got, and it was really funny because right when we killed the next one, we got another Drygor, and it was an offhand Rapier. That one went to a different person, but it was just hilarious because we got 2 Drygors in 2 kills, and they were both the main hand and offhand versions of the Rapier. So that right there was probably the luckiest part of this entire video, and it was really early on, so that was a really good motivator to finish the 24 hours. Like 30 kills later or something like that, I was trioing again, and this time it was me, Chris, and Held. So we were just doing some pretty good trios. It was pretty fun, and we got a longsword. So it was an offhand version though, but still, getting a longsword in general is just a really good one. It's better than an offhand mace, right? So that was one of our most expensive Drygors, and it was trio, so it was going to be a good split for me. But we got a few more kills after that, and then we just called it quits, and I moved on to different things for the 24 hours. And the boss I decided on was a Raxor. So at this point, I'm like 80-something dry on a leg at a Raxor, and I'm also dry like 60 or something like that on anything else. So 60 kills before, I did get a hilt, which we call them hilts. They're the eye, the web, the fang. Like 60 kills before this, I got an eye, so I was pretty dry on pretty much everything, and I was like 80 kills dry on a leg or something like that. And I was just hoping I was going to get something for the stream, and considering I had a lot of time to do a Raxor, I felt like I could get something. Come to find out, I killed like 30 Raxor from the start of it, and I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing. I mean, I got a pheromone right there. I mean, I don't really count that as a drop. I don't really think anyone does when it comes to like the drop rates and stuff, because it is pretty common in comparison to like a hilt or something. But you know, that kind of sucks. I mean, that's really all I got was a pheromone. I only got the Onyx drop once, and I did get a lot of Onyx bolts. I can't complain, but that puts me up to like 118 dry on a leg. Like any leg piece, and I'm like 87 dry on anything, minus the pheromones. Now, I mean, Araxor is decent money on its own, but obviously I spent so much time at Araxor during the stream that it really put a dent into my hourly rate on the 24 hour, but I just cut my losses. I left Araxor. I just could not deal with it anymore. So I moved on to doing something that wasn't bossing. I didn't really want to do more bossing because I just spent, you know, like a long ass time on KK and Raxor. I wanted to take a little break, so I did Slayer for actually the rest of the stream. I was just having a bunch of fun doing some Slayer, so I did Slayer for I think like 9 or 10 hours or something, and I don't really know how good of a rate I did in terms of money. I really didn't get that many profitable tasks. A lot of it were just the tasks that you go there, kill them all, and then just go to the next task. You don't really pick up much. But I felt like I made a decent amount of money. Throughout the Slayer tasks, I did get Edemu like 1.5 times. I ended the loot video with an Edemu task, but I didn't finish it. I had like 50 left. I did get, you know, Dark Beast, Iroots, and then Celestials. Again, I don't really see myself making a ton of money from Slayer, but I still got decently lucky. And speaking about my luck, I did get a Razorback Gauntlets drop at Iroots, which I'm not even lucky there. I forgot that they're not 800k anymore. So at first I'm like, oh, okay, only 800k. But they're actually 2 mil, probably even more. I don't know if they're going up or not, but that's really nice, and it really made the trip worth it. And later on, I also got Celestial Hand Wraps from Celestials. Now, these are the second ones I've ever had, but they're only the first one after I finished my Slayer series, so that was pretty nice. And finally, for my last rare drop, so I was at Edemu, and it was my last trip of the entire 24 hours. It was a make it or break it moment. I really needed a blood shard that trip, so I was just looking for that beam, and it actually came to me. So right there, and then I right click it, and it turns out to be a Clue Scroll Elite. So that sucks. I got really mega trolled there. You know, what can you do? It was still kind of funny nonetheless. So that was pretty much all I did in the 24 hours. Now, you probably could have expected more, I guess, but like Araxor really cut into my time because I didn't get anything there. I spent a lot of time at KK. I don't know how many kills. It was a lot though. And Slayer, I know I slayed for a long ass time. And just remember though, it wasn't necessarily 24 hours straight of like playing. I mean, I had some breaks in there and, you know, banking times and everything like that. So it wasn't 24 hours of strictly PVM. It was 24 hours of effort, I can tell you that. But I'd say I was probably PVMing throughout the entire thing, probably like 20 hours, maybe even 21 hours. I don't really know, something like that. I would say probably 4 hours were not actually killing anything or banking or getting ready or writing down drops. I think that's a good estimate, but it's still 24 hours of effort. But let's go into the price check and see how much I actually made throughout this loot video. Alrighty guys, here is the price check. So I'm going to be doing 2 price checks in this video because I'm separating it from the 2 bosses that I did and the Slayer because of inventory space problems. But anyways, as you can see in the inventory, most of the loot is from Araxor, and I also have the Drygors that I got as well. As you saw, I got the mace, I got the offhand long, I got the Drygor rapier main hand, and then the offhand rapier. And it's kind of cool because 3 out of 4 of these items are like uniques towards my series of Master of PVM, so it's going to be a really nice episode when I make the 3rd one. But either way, that's besides the point. I also got a Trisk fragment from Araxor, and then obviously all of these herbs and everything else that just added up from KK and Araxor. But either way, let's just price check. I'm going to price check the everything first but the Drygors, just so you can see my just regular loot. So without any of the Drygors, I did end up having 20.5 mil. You could probably even up it to like 21 just because this pheromone is actually a few 100k more than what the GE says last I sold it. It still might be 1.4. I really don't know the price, but when I last sold it, it was like 2 mil. I'm just guessing it's the same. But most of it's obviously from the Onyx Bolts. That's a really big moneymaker at both the bosses. And then obviously the brews are good as well. And yeah, everything just adds up to 20.5 mil. I'll just write that down. Now for the price check of the Drygors, it is not 92 mil. I do have to explain to you guys that I only own parts of these Drygors because I have to split with people. I just put the item in the tab and I split with them later when I sell them all. I know that they don't get their money right away, but that's just how we're doing it for now. I probably will be splitting with them throughout time, but I do only own, you know, a portion of these Drygors. And I can tell you that this mace was a 3-man, so I own 1/3 of that, which is 5.4 mil. Only if it sells for that, but let's just assume it will. And then the offhand longsword was also a 3-man, which means I get 8.2 from that. And this was a 4-man main hand rapier, and that means I get 7.1 mil from that one. And then this is also a 4-man offhand rapier. I get 5.7 mil from that one. Now, if you add all of that together, it comes out to be 26.4 million GP from just the Drygors. And that is pretty awesome for the rare drops. Now I could have been lucky at like Araxor if like I got a leg or something, and that would have really spiked up the value, but I was just extremely unlucky at Araxor for how many kills I did, and I'm still on a huge dry streak. Hopefully I get some drops pretty soon, but at least for KK I was extremely lucky this weekend, and I'm really happy about that. Okay, so I got everything. That took a while to grab all the items, but either way, I did keep like about 500k to like 700k in loot in the bank because I couldn't fit it, or it was rare drop table. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add 500k to the price check, and I also have 1.4 mil coins that I couldn't fit into the inventory either. But looking at the loot, a lot of it was like the spring cleaner loot, and a lot of the monsters just drop runite ore in general, so that's why there's a large amount. And I also did 1 Ganos task, and I got extremely lucky on that. I got 2 of each of the high level seeds, except papayas. I didn't get any of those, but that's still awesome right there. And for any rare loot, I actually got pretty lucky. I got Celestial Hand Wraps, and I got the Razorback Gauntlets, which each of them are pretty close to 2 mil. So that is awesome. I don't know if they sell for that, but they should be a decent amount of money right there. But I'm going to add 1.4 plus, let's just say 600k from the bank. So let's add 2 mil, and that should be pretty accurate. So there you go. My price check for the Slayer was about 13.1. Add 2 mil to that to account for the other items. and my coins, and right there, 15.1 mil is the final price check for Slayer. Now, if you add everything up from the boss loot and the Slayer loot, it adds up to a grand total of roughly 62 million GP. Now, that sounds really high. Honestly, that sounds pretty good for just one day. But you know, for 24 hours, I guess that's not the greatest rate. Now, on an hourly scale, that's about 2.6 mil per hour, which honestly I feel like is okay. Looking at it like that, because I did slay for a bit and I did have a lot of tasks that weren't necessarily profitable. I was super lucky at KK, I was extremely unlucky at Araxor, and I was, you know, pretty average on Slayer. I mean, other than the gloves that I got. So I hope this video was fun to watch. I know it's a different type of video that I've done before, and I kind of want to do more of these like hourly type videos instead of just 1,000 of blank, because I'm kind of running out on those. So if you want to see like any like hourly videos for like skilling, like I could do like loot from, you know, blank hours of doing a certain skill or something that has to do with skills, not always just combat, then definitely comment down below what you want to see. Remember to go out there and get some good drops. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good day.